Hi, this is Eliza Inkberry with Darkside University's Gothic Gardening class. This is week 3, and I'm going to start out talking about design and texture. I'm actually breaking up the videos into smaller bits so that if you can only watch one at a time, you won't have to figure out where you paused it. This is either a calocasia or an alocasia, and most people call them things like elephant ears. They also get called taro. And I think this is actually a black and white photo, but they do have an interesting texture, and some of them look like this pretty close in real life. I think they kind of have the look of a rib cage as well, or definitely like a fish skeleton or something. They're pretty cool. And this is one that hasn't been done anything to it. That's just how they look. Just it kind of has that rib cage look to it. Sort of bat-like there. And then this is one of the black ones. There's a lot of different varieties. You can type in black calocasia or black alocasia and you'll find a lot of different varieties that you can get. And there's some coleus here as the contrast to that, and these small leaves have a different texture than these larger ones. So you get the texture on the leaf itself, the kind of ribbing here, and then you also get a contrast with the stems and with this and with the bark on the tree. And so that's kind of what you're looking to play with. You'll make each plant that you have stand out more if it's got something to show it off with. And so if you have a plant that's a particular focal point, then you want to pick textures of plants to go under it or behind it or to the sides of it that are going to enhance it in some way. Here's another calocasia or alocasia, and it's got kind of a creepy bat or monster texture to it, I think. And here's another one of the black ones with looks like celosia, which this one has a black foliage on it as well, and in the background some cannas that seem to have black foliage, and even behind that they have some castor beans with dark colored foliage. So a lot of dark colored plants going on here. So this is a different texture, fluffy textured plants. This one's bunny tail grass, and there's a lot of different grasses with beautiful fluffy seed heads. Grasses in general have a texture that stands up very nicely next to large leafed plants, although this one's a small enough specimen that you'd probably need a really tiny calocasia or alocasia to put it with so that it wouldn't look dwarfed, but you can definitely find grasses that are a little larger that would show that off. And this is an aeonium, and this looks like flowers, but it's actually not. That's the way the plant looks, and it definitely stands out in the landscape as kind of this strange alien monstery thing. And this is what it looks like blooming. You can see it's just got little yellow flower spikes on it. This is with rosemary and some other herbs it looks like in the background. So here's a whole lot of black plants put together to good effect, and the reason they stand out so well is the texture and color on these calla lilies kind of breaking up the color, because if you had the these are black cohosh or snake root. If you had them right next to the ajuga, then those would kind of blend together and be hard to see. And I'm not sure what's spiky in the background here. It could be eucomis. I'm not really sure. And then this is a heuchera right here. So you want to pick texture. Like these leaves are very different than these and these. These two blend together a little bit more, but not too much. And then this is definitely, the little rounded leaves are different from these. So you want to pick textures and colors as well that will separate each other. So this is what looks like a dark colored bottle edging under this ground creeping plant here. It could be thyme. It's kind of hard to see. There's a lot of different plants that'll grow like this. And if you're using bottle edging, just keep in mind that if you want it to hold soil in, you need to put something behind it, like a plastic edging or wood, because the gaps in between the bottles are not that good at holding soil in. But they do have a nice effect in the garden, and it's a good way to recycle bottles. So The plants here are Rudbeckia, which is black-eyed Susan, and this is a big hydrangea, and that's a hosta. That's a Heuchera, which is a coral bell in the back. I can't tell what this is. It could be a Crocosmia or it could be a Gladiola. And so right here, this was a website that had suggestions for Halloween decor for plants, and I looked at this and it says it's a juga or bugle weed, but it looks very much like black pearl hot pepper to me, so I'm not sure they have this labeled correctly, but I did like it with the pot here and the texture actually of the hardscaping, because that's something to consider as well. Like these little these little pebbles kind of bring this out and make it more of a focal point, and the texture of the pot as well. So here's some more texture. This is really nicely done, and actually this website, bwiscgardening.blogspot.com, I recommend. This is Around Garden World in 365 Days 5, and let's see, which garden is this? Was their September 5th entry. So I recommend this one in general because they've got like this sweet potato here, and it goes really nicely with the Mazus reptans, I think is what that is. I can't tell. The black rubber plant here, I really like that, the way they've got it with this grass texture, and those are Gerbera daisies in front of it. That just looks really nice to me. And the whole garden has, this kind of purpley grass here, it's probably a carex, and just the general color scheme and texture that you have going with like the feathery stuff behind the rubber plants, and their big kind of almost like a sea animal. They've got that kind of thick texture going on, and I think this is Crocosmia lucifer right here, and that's probably purple millet. I'm not sure what this grass is. It looks like a pennisetum. Oh, it actually says what stuff is. I like it with the silver right here bringing everything out. That looks like a banana or a canna there. I think it's a banana. So in general, these are some really nice textures that play off of each other. This kind of small leafed silver texture in the grass, and the big leaves here and the smaller leaves here, and everything contrast each other nicely. So red mustard is a nice edible to consider. It tends to look more black than red, and it has this bubbly texture on it that's really nice to stand out against almost anything. And it's a big plant, so it stands out in the landscape. And here's something that's a little more traditional for a lot of landscaping, and it's just some different conifers with different leaf textures. And conifers leaf textures are just kind of a time-honored way of having landscape interest that's there year-round, because it's evergreen and it's going to stay, but also in the spring you get kind of this bright chartreuse foliage going on, and you can tell it's spring because the irises are blooming, and these are Siberian iris, and they have strappier, thinner foliage that stands up really well to the plants around it. And this looks like a deciduous magnolia of some sort. So we have another more traditional type of garden. These are hostas, which is everybody's favorite shade plant, mixed with, so here's the hostas, and here's Heuchera, and these are Japanese painted ferns, which have kind of this purpley black rib down the center, and then the fronds on the outside are silvery white, and probably Lysomachia, I'm not really sure, and maybe a Stokesia here. But these are all, that's some lilies in the back right here, and they have kind of a strappy, helicoptery looking texture to them. This could be a chrysanthemum, so a lot of different texture there. And I really like this. Look at this gate, and this looks like this is all made of cob. So cob building, you can look that up, and it's a way that you can build stuff out of materials that you may have on hand in your own yard, especially if you're living somewhere like me with red clay. I've done a lot of cob building at this point, and it's really surprisingly simple. And then they've built this gate into it. I don't know if that's wood painted to look like metal or if it's actually wrought metal of some kind. And then they've got the dahlias in front of it, and a nice pond system with some lilies, water lilies. This is probably one of the bishop dahlias. I'm not sure which one. And so I have some container plants for those of you who need that. I'm not sure what the dark colored evergreen is, but if you searched for black or purple boxwood, it might be a boxwood. And then the grass in the front is black mondo grass. And this is a good website for container gardening. I really liked the color schemes on this for Goth Gardening because it's almost all black plants that they've offset with other textures. And so you can look at this. It's gardeningdesign.com, grow building container combos. And I really liked this one. And they just keep adding silver and purple and that sort of thing together. And I had one more, which is Halloween plants. And some of this is kind of garish, but I liked it. The chrysanthemums here with the black mondo grass and ornamental hot pepper. And I guess, did they have a juga in there? They don't, but they have a list of plants here that have good textures. And they have black millet, and bubbly texture. So I guess that was their photo. So here's, I don't see where they're using the black millet, but I like that plant a lot. This looks like more mondo grass here. But those are some other good options. And next we will talk about color. So this is a good place to stop since this is pretty bright and exciting. See you in the chat tonight.